Hustle, hustle, hustle hard. Hustle, hustle, hustle hard. Hustle, hustle.
I'm going to cover the Forex Intermediate course. So by this time, you guys should have already done the basics course, taking notes, and also taking quizzes associated with the basics course. So let's get started. All right. In today's class, we're going to cover what's a trend, how many ways can you enter the market, who's participating in the market, pending orders, support and resistant pullbacks, and a simple strategy called break and retest. All right, so a trend is when price moves in a particular direction for a period of time. So in the example, we are looking at UJ, which is an acronym for USDJPY. Price is moving in an uptrend. So when price is moving in an uptrend, that means that we are buying, okay? So in order for you to be buying a pair, you need to confirm the trend is in an uptrend. In order to do that, you need to make sure you have higher highs. So in the example, we have the highs labeled off, and as you can see, each high is higher than the previous high. So that's exactly what you need to have in order for you to be in a buyer's market. All right, there are three different ways that the market can move. So we have upwards, downwards, and sideways. And the technical term for that is bearish, which is downwards, upwards, which is bullish, and sideways, which is consolidation, okay? In order for you to be selling a pair, you need to confirm that it's actually in a downtrend. So we need to confirm that we have lower lows in the downtrend. In order for you to confirm that it's making lower lows, I advise you all to kind of look at your trend, look at your chart, and put circles at the top of each swing, indicating that they are actually getting lower lows. You have lower lows and lower highs, okay? All right, so here's just another example to get you guys to really understand the trend. All right, so the trend is more so the overall direction, and then we have swings. So we have swing high, right? Your swings are inside of your trend, right? So when we speak of higher highs, that means that your next high, your swing high should be higher than the previous swing high. That's how it should go, okay? Same thing for a bearish trend. Your current swing low should be higher than the last. I'm sorry, should be higher than the last low, because we want to make lower lows and lower highs. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Consolidation. So consolidation is very tricky. Consolidation means the market is moving sideways. In a nutshell, it means that the market has not made up its mind on which direction it wants to go. Never, ever, ever enter the market during consolidation, right? However, if you just happen to be in a trade and the pair starts to consolidate, do not exit the trade, okay? Consolidation means transition. So you just have to be patient. All right. So we have four types of ways we can enter the market, right? Obviously, we have market execution, which means that you are entering the market instantly, right? When you look at your MetaTrader 4, you will have market execution at the top. So we have market execution, and then we also have pending orders. So pending orders are trades that activate later, right? So with pending orders, we have four types of pending orders. So we have buy stop, we have a sell stop, and we have buy limit, and we have sell limit, okay? So in the example, I'm showing you guys how buy stops and sell stops operate. These are really cool to use, especially if you work. You don't necessarily have a lot of time to be on your charts. These are really good to have, okay? All right. So a buy stop is when entry price is rising. So when the price reaches a certain point, you enter the market with the anticipation that price will continue to rise. So in the example, our red line is our entry, right? And we enter price. The arrow is showing you, and then we put our buy stop there, knowing that price will continue to rise. So again, this is great to utilize if you work and you've already done your markups on your chart, and you are you need to make some money. All right, so we have sell stop. So kind of the same scenario, except for sell stop is obviously for sellers, okay? So in a sell stop, price is falling. When the price reaches a certain point, you enter the market with anticipation that price will continue to fall. These are really, really, really great to use because the cool thing about pending orders is that if price never hits your entry price, then the trade just doesn't activate and you lose nothing. You lose nothing, but you don't make nothing either. So this trade just simply doesn't activate. All right. So a sell limit is when price is rising. When the price reaches a certain point, you enter the market with anticipation that it will fall. So with our sell limits, this is great, especially if you're looking to catch reversals. So right. If you were setting a sell limit, you would place it maybe somewhere where the buyers were starting to get exhausted, and then you would set price at a price number that you think price would fall at. And don't worry, guys, we will definitely do more examples and homework over pending orders. But right now we're just doing an overview. All right, and we have a buy limit. All right, so a buy limit is when price is falling. When the price reaches at a certain point, you enter the market with the anticipation that price will rise. So again, this is really good to pair with reversal candlesticks. As you guys know, we do study reversal candlesticks, and these are really good to use when you can identify where places where price is reversing at, and it's showing that, like in this case, the buyer's limit is showing that the buyers are getting exhausted. I'm sorry, the sellers are getting exhausted and price is about to rise. So this is really great to use and really great to understand. All right. So the second thing is support and resistance. Okay. Support is super, super crucial when it comes to being a trader and really beginning to dig into your charts. Support is the floor of your house. Okay. And the resistance is the roof. All right. So price literally bounces back and forth between these zones consistently. All right. These zones indicate where patterns are happening at the market, which will help you, we will cover that a little bit later in the course. But for right now, I'm just giving you guys basic understanding on support and resistance. Okay. So our support is our floor, our resistance is the roof of the house. All right. Here's a great example of support and resistance. So here we have support. As you can see, price is just kind of moving back and forth. And then we have resistance. Notice that the resistance for one level became support for another zone. Yes, that is absolutely possible. Do not get confused. Do not overthink it. Okay, that is absolutely possible. Sorry. That is our support and resistance. All right. So how do we apply support and resistance to the market? All right, let's talk about it. All right, so when price breaks out of resistance, we wait for it to come back down to the entry and then we buy it. All right. So in this case, we have our support, right? And price broke out. So when it broke out, it crossed between the red and blue line right above it, right? So that's what it means by breakout. It literally means to break the pattern. And when it broke out, it came right back down to a support level, right? As I told you guys in the last slide, yes, your resistance can turn into your new level of support. And when it came back down, it retested. So when I say it came back down, it came back to the blue line where it says support. And that is the retest. Okay. So after once it came down to retest, you would enter the trade. Okay. And this just kind of works both ways. In this case, we are looking to buy because price broke above, right? It came back to our blue support line, it retested, and then it bounced back off. Okay. So if you guys are wondering, well, how do you know when to enter the trade? Based on break and retest. You wait for your retest, and your retest happens when it comes back down to your support level. Once it comes back down to support level and you notice that there are reversal candlestick patterns happening, you then take the trade for the buyer's position because that's the market letting you know it is now ready to buy up. All right. So easy way I want to tell you guys to do is that when you first start marking up your charts, you're gonna click the candlesticks at the very top of your trading view screen, and you're gonna turn on lines, and you're gonna simply use horizontal lines. And you're gonna lay your horizontal lines on M's and W's. That is an assignment we will work on later, guys. So no worries. If you're brand new and you're wondering what the heck is she talking about, no worries. We would definitely get to it. All right. So how to approach a market? How do we approach the market? That's the question that everybody wants to know, right? If price breaks support, so remember support is our floor. So if it breaks support, we're going to sell it to hell. The same concept stands as I just discussed on the last slide. If price breaks resistance, we're going to buy it high. Okay. The key to trading is always patience, right? So right here, it's a very good example for you guys to look at. The more touches you have to a support or resistance zone, the more important it is. And right, and that's how you're going to identify the important major key levels of your pairs that you may begin to trade. Okay. So this is really important to know. Okay, let's move on. All right. So pullbacks. Tend to happen in the market. A pullback is a temporary reversal of the current trend. So maybe going up or down. Everything has to pull back. Don't close your trade just because it's pulling back. Your price has to move in opposite direction. Price can never move in one direction when it comes to trading. So in the example, you have boxes over the actual pullback. So price is in an uptrend. The overall trend is up, right? At the top, we have our swing highs, right? To confirm an uptrend. And then that red diagonal line is your pullback. Now, for some people that are my scalpers, that's a scalper zone. So scalpers like to trade pullbacks. It's perfectly fine to do that. However, you must know where you are in the market. All right, so let's talk about the buy, the break, and the retest strategy. All right, so when you use a break and retest strategy, you simply wait for the breakout candle, and the retest, and then you enter. Okay. All right, so this is a simple strategy that anybody could use. So literally all day as we trade, we're looking for bullish, or we got to decide if we're buying or we're selling. All right, so in another video, I'll talk to you guys about OHLC, which we will do more work on later. But in the example, I want you guys to identify a bullish breakout, right? So a bullish breakout has to break out with a bullish candle. All right. For my people that may not know, or you may have forgotten what the term bullish means, that means buyers. If you are somebody that used to trade stocks and you're familiar with stock terms, the term long is another word for buy. Okay. And for my bearish breakout, all right, well, another term for bearish breakout is short for my stock people. That means that you are selling. Okay. So literally the candle that breaks above your support or resistance zone is your breakout candle. Okay. Now, retest candle. Retest candles are super important. So remember, guys, in order for the retest, it must return back to the support or resistance level. So in the case of a bullish retest, it returns back to a support level. Notice how the candlestick has a wick rejecting the support level. So that's another indication that price is rejecting to go down, and then it's about ready to take off. And it's the same concept when we look at our bearish retest. All right. All right. So some of you may be wondering, oh my gosh, what is a retest? Retests and pullbacks are not the same. Don't confuse the two. Okay. A pullback has enough momentum in it where a scalper can make some money. A retest happens literally when price just touches the zone and goes the other way. Right. So in this example, we have our break over resistance. Then we also have our entry. I'm sorry. We have our breakout. Then we have our retest. So the retest is the wick. As you guys, most of the times, guys, when you see retest, it will have a wick attached to it because wicks indicate indecision. They indicate rejection. Okay. So we have our break, we have our retest, and then we enter. That's how it goes. Break first, retest second, entry. All right, so just to give you guys a little bit more understanding on how it looks when you are using break retest strategy. All right, so we have in this case, we have our bearish breakout candle, right? And then we have our retest. So there's our bearish retest candle. It's retesting that resistance zone, right? And after it retested for a second time, then we could take our trade, and there's our entry. We just ride it on down. Now, some of you may get greedy. Do not get greedy in the market. Do not get greedy in the market. Okay? Patience is always the answer. Okay, so entries are super important, right? You got to know how to enter the market. So as we were just discussing, we have our breakout, we have our retest, and then we enter. Okay. So guys, you see the yellow arrows indicating entry. So those indicate multiple entries. So guys, on your chart, you can use a trend line. If price is not coming above that trend line, and let's just say you're in a buy, that means that you can pop more than one entry as long as price is still respecting the trend line, okay? And this is important to help you guys grow your account and actually get the lifestyle you desire, because you have to start using higher lot sizes and understanding twin trading and understanding really how to maximize off one trade. One pair. All right. And remember, trading is simple. Don't overthink it.
She's not going nuts, you know that bitch bad. Watch her blow a hole back.